Welcome back to the channel. It is Earth, Wind, and Fire, and today we're going to be talking all about custom Weiss cards. So, Weiss is already kind of a niche game, so having a custom community is, albeit already, extremely niche. However, during the Duluth BCS, me, Devin, Gadgetman X, and some other people, we were at Free Fright, and we decided to whip out our custom cards. We whipped out Umineko, uh, Guitar Hero, uh, and Scoobert Doobert. And we got a whole lot of attention out of it, being like, yo, that's really cool. You got Scooby Doo Weiss cards? Where can I get those? How do I make them? What can I do with them? So this video is going to be essentially an all-encompassing guide on how to make custom cards and what you can really do with them. So first things first, we want to download a program for us to make these custom cards. So first we want to go up to GitHub and type in Weiss MSC plugin by Ronelm 2000. This is going to be a plugin for the Magic Set Editor program to allow us to make Weiss cards. So first things first, we are going to want Magic Set Editor installed, specifically version 2.1.2. If I remember correctly, Magic Set Editor is on like 2.5, so we definitely don't want the newest one. We need to backpedal a little bit. Good thing that we have a link to it automatically, where all we got to do is install the program and whatever bit your system is running at. So mine 64 is going to be pretty much all newer computers. So once we get that opened up, we can see where we have all of our stuff. So once we get that in, we are going to want to make a new folder and call this Weiss Schwarz Set Editor. And if I could spell it right, maybe. Doop. All right, so now that we have that up and ready to rumble, we can go over to here, and then we can start to extract everything into here. So now that we got that extracted, we can download more fun stuff. So now, let's say we open this, whoop-de-doo. We have the basic program running and no game type because we don't have any data installed for templates. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go on over back to our source, and we are going to go into the releases for the Weiss plugin. So now we're going to install our fonts and our Magic Set Editor installer. And once we install those, we're going to head over onto downloads. We're going to do the fonts first. And then if I remember correctly, we should be able to just do it from the zipped folder. If not, all we're doing is installing the fonts onto our computer so that they are, I'm a genius. We'll get back to that shortly. All right, now that we fixed everything, quote unquote, we're just gonna be a little smart. New folder, fonts. We don't really need to put them in here, but it's just a nice way to consolidate everything rather than just putting all of these into like our downloads or documents folder, because we're only ever going to really use them here anyway. So we'll wait for that to install, which it did, and we will select all, and we will want to install all of these fonts. I already have all of these installed, so you would just do that. So now, whenever you use the Magic Set Editor, instead of using its default fonts, it's going to use the custom fonts that Weiss uses. So once you do that, we'll go back to Magic Set Editor, and we will open up our installer. So back to downloads. And now we have this executable. So the way we want to have this work is we want to click and drag this all the way on top of Magic Set Editor exe. That's going to install the program. Now we're going to see everything that's going to be installed with it. We're going to click OK, and we're going to wait for that to install, which is pretty quickly. 5 patches successfully installed, and then we can go in here Open a new set, Weiss Schwarz. Okay, now we have everything we need to start making our custom sets. Now all we need to do is get our pictures for our favorite IP to upload them in and start making our effects, which we will get into shortly. Alright, so now that we are pretty much all perfectly set up, now what we're going to want to do is start organizing our files so that when we start making our sets, we can essentially keep everything self-contained. So the way I like to do things is I like to make a new folder within our set editor for sets. And then let's say we want to make Nisekoi. Oh, let's not do that. Let's be smart. And then sets, new folder, Nisekoi. And then once we're in here, we're going to want to have a images folder to store all of our images that are being used within our set editor, and the rest of this folder is going to contain our actual data for the set. So let's say you have a way to get images from your perfectly legal and totally bought copy of your favorite anime game or whatever, and then once you start collecting images, we'll get back to the real fun. Alright, so now that you've gotten all of your images for your custom set, whatever you want, got them all loaded in, now we can actually open our set editor and create a new set for Weiss Schwarz. So now here's where the fun begins. So now, first things first, you always kind of want to get into your set info and start naming everything to make all your cards look pretty for the metadata. So essentially set name Nisekoi Waifu Edition, and set ID is POG, subset ID 42069, and Weiss, this is your borders, and legacy card images, don't ask me what this is, and then essentially we are pretty much good to go. As you can see, our set ID POG is the little 3 letters, subset ID is the kind of like set number, and then now it automatically increments the card number depending on our rarities and colors. So first things first, let's say we want to make a character. So, oh, that's a lot of funny cards. Let's see desktop. Then we will go to Weiss Schwarz, nope. Set editor, sets, Nisekoi, images, and now we'll make a this one. So let's see, look at this cute little girl, she's perfect. So to change color, we will click on the actual color of the card, and it gives us a list of yellow, green, red, blue, and the custom purple color. Let's go with red because in the real set she is a red card. We'll start with her traits. Key, whoop, and police. And let's make her a double rare by clicking on the rarity symbol and clicking whatever rarity we want from the drop down. We will give her +1 level by clicking on the level and changing the level. And then we will choose not to change her trigger icon because we are going to decide to make a level 1 combo. So let's say we want her to be a during your turn 2K, and I don't know, on reverse salvage. We'll make it just like a slightly better OG Marika level 1 combo. So fun thing about Weiss is that all the abilities cost power. So a vanilla will cost, vanilla 1-0 is 5,500 power, as you can see right here. So a 2 or more other characters pump power is a trying to think, because a good example would be the Goblin Slayer. So Goblin Slayer has 2 effects. Continuous 2 or more other characters, it's a 6k from 4k base, and it has its combo. Most combos are going to be a 500 power demerit. So 5,500 minus CXC 500 is going to make her into a 5,000 power. So now normally 2K. Uh, 2K, if you have two or more other characters continuous, is a minus 1K power. Generally, a lot of multipliers are double, but because it is a during your turn continuous, not a overall continuous during both turns, that multiplier is kind of sliced in half because it only works half the time essentially. So now we have your minus 500 effect again rather than minus 1K because it's only during your turn. So minus cont plus 2K during your turn. 500 is going to equal to 4/5. So now, once we've done our math, we now know how big our character is going to be. So 4/5 power. And then we have 3 separate text boxes in our character icon. So we have, I believe this is the rules text, this is the flavor text, and this is the replay text. All we really care about right now is the rules text. So we'll start here by doing capital CONT. For continuous, it automatically gives us the little cont bar. And then all we got to do is type our effects. So during your turn, if you have 2 or more other. So now once we start getting into traits, you'll want to hold shift and press our little arrow key 3 times. Key, and then our arrow key again to make our little brackets. So once we have that, 2 more other key characters. This card gets plus 2, 1, 2, 3 power. So now it'll be a 6/5 during our turn, and then enter. If we all caps auto, that gets us our auto ability. And then if we cap CXC, we get our climax combo. And then we go, when this card battle opponent becomes, and now when we want to do our reverse stand or rest, we'll type reverse in all caps, stand in all caps, or rest in all caps. So because this is a on reverse combo, we want to do reverse. This card battle opponent goes reverse. Choose up to 1 key character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So now to do this, we do need to get a reverse for the climax combo. So if it becomes reverse and perfect woman, because that's what she is in your climax area. And then period, and make that just so it's not a run-on sentence. And then once we have that, we will want to highlight our climax name, including the quotations, and make it bold with Control B. And then we can get rid of this, and then we can change our flavor text to be cute, smug anime girl noises. And then perfect wife material Marika. And that's our name. And then we can get to our set ID. So Poggers Champion. And now, fun thing about this, so let's make this yellow card real quick just to make it easy to show you. For your copyright information, every time you make a new card that has a lower rarity value or higher number than the first card in your set, it will carry over all of the information for the copyright information and the set symbol. Now, we just don't have the set symbol in yet, so whatever, but ideally, if you have your first card, your 001, if you have the set symbol and your copyright info, every card you make after that will copy over those 2 attributes. So we'll make this back into red real quick. If I can click it right, there we go. And then now that we have a climax combo card, let's make a climax to go with it. So we'll go into add a card, and then we will see where it says CH to determine the character. We will choose climax. So now we can choose, let's say we want it on a door because she's good, and then climax combo was perfect woman. So perfect woman. Go to climax common and change it to red just for giggles and shits, and then we will fix that. And now we want to add an image, so let's pick a smug mug. Look at the cutie. Whoa. So ufu. And now we want to start adding our right box. We want to start adding our climax text. So a good way for all these climaxes that we have keywords for these. So if we go into keywords, we have a whole list of shortcuts for pretty long rules text. So for example, we'll go to door, which is the climax trigger. All we got to do is go back to our card and just type door. And now we have the door reminder text. And then if we want to do our 1K1, all we got to do is go to one of these, CXG 1K1. There it is, we found it. So CXG 1K1, and that's going to automatically fill up everything for all your characters get plus 1K1 soul. So now we know how to make these, and the last card type is events. So we'll go here, make a red event, and we'll just name it, I don't know, what's when we haven't used this, there we go, beautiful smile. So essentially same thing as making a character or climax. Choose your, let's make this a 1-1 event. Don't give it a soul trigger because we're cool like that. And then we will say, I don't know, you win the game because Marika best girl. And then essentially once we've done a whole lot of card editing, we'll want to save it, go under to our main set folder, change to whatever set you want. So just, I don't know, Nisekoi powered up. And now we have things to do later. So let's say we're done for the day, close this all out, whoop-de-doo. Next day, we go here, last open set Nisekoi powered up, and we have everything we want. Now, let's say we finished our set and we want to make these into real images. Best way to do that would be to go to, I believe, edit, right? Yeah, preferences. And then we're going to want to change our display to 200%. It's going to make our files pretty large. And then we are going to want to export these via HTML. So entire set, click by some tools, entire set. And then you could do the zoom multiplier here, but it doesn't really matter. And we just go OK. And then we go into our desktop, our set editor, our sets, Nisekoi, and then file name. This will be a new folder where we keep all the exported images. We'll just do exported set. Can't convert. That's pretty cringe. Let's try that again. Looks like it already did it. So now we'll go into set editor, sets, Nisekoi, exported images. Now we have our cute little wife as our sets. And then we'll take a quick break, and then we will go on to what to do with these cards. All right, so now hopefully that you have your entire set exported out from MSE. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the MPC Overbleed masks file. It should be linked in the Discord, or if not, I can link the file directly in the description of the video. This was designed by half by me, half by Beanwolf in the Discord. He did the good-looking half of the Weiss side of the cards, and I did the bad-looking half of the Schwarz side of the cards. Uh, so essentially, when you're printing out your set using Make Playing cards, you can't just upload your pictures directly into it. They're going to be too small, and they're going to cut out the borders of your cards. So the best way to do that is to make a essentially Overbleed filter. So the way we're going to do that is going to go File, Open as Files, or Open as Layers. My apologies. And then we are going to go into recently used. Let's say we're going to do that. That's the cool card. This is a going first card I'm making for my Ubi Neko set. So let's say if this was a real card, we definitely want to have it in PNG because we're going to want to use a alpha channel or transparency channel. And let's say Battler is a red card. We're going to apply a red mask to it. We're going to click back on the layer again. We're going to want to go to layer, and we're going to want to go to transform layer or scale layer. My bad. And if this were a real card, we would want it to be at 744 and 1040. And then scale that. And now it's going to be centered automatically, I believe. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put the layer, and we're going to want to scale it to the image. So scale layer to image size. Whoops, we messed up. First, we want to add an alpha channel, and then we're going to scale layer to image size. So now we have the image kind of extends out far, but it still doesn't really exist. So now that we have that, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to filters, enhance, and heal transparency. So this is a plugin for GIMP. It's called the GIMP Resynthesizer plugin. I will link it in the description of the video, and probably a tutorial on how to install it and get it working. So essentially you're going to want to click on this, and now it's going to give you these options. It removes alpha channels by synthesis, fills outward angles, blah 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 blah. Essentially what it's going to do is it's going to generatively fill out all transparent areas in your image. And generally you're going to want to have a small number so that it can more just stretch out rather than try and generate other random garbage. And so 5, 10, those are good numbers. And if we click OK, it'll take a hot minute. And then as we can see, it kind of extends Battler's suit and arm over there, so that if we were to print this out on NPC, if it was a little bit off, we could still have some breathing room rather than it just being a pure cutoff. Clearly 5 wasn't a small enough number though, so we will go image. Sorry, not image. We'll go back to filters, enhance, heal transparency. We'll go with 2. And then once that's done synthesizing, you can see now that we have a little bit of a smaller area to work with. This one's a bit grainy, so we might have to up it up back to 5 or 4. But again, basic concept is it uses AI to kind of just like fill out everything and make it so that if there's a little bit of and once you have all of your cards in their mass and overbleed format, all you're going to want to do is go to make playing cards, and then you're going to want to pick your design that you're going to want to do. So now you want to, popular idea is custom game cards. You want to click start design, and whoops, and then you're going to choose your standard size format that I believe is going to be somewhere here. Custom black border playing cards, booker size. It's going to be custom game cards over here. So once we click on these, it's going to take us to this fun area. So doesn't really matter. We're just going to start design, but this is where you start making all of your full color print, 55 card size of deck, and your type of card stock. And it gives you your price points. So let's go packaging, doesn't really matter. Enter number of cards to your deck, I don't really care. We're just going to do card fonts. We're just only going to want to do different images. So now all of these images are going to be different. So we want to upload, go to wherever we kept our Overbleed format cards. So we're going to choose Battler. And once that's finished uploading, we can move him over to, let's say, card 1. So now, if we click on card 1, so you see this is going to be where our kind of card is supposed to end. This red is a little bit iffy, but generally it's going to be around this black border, and we can see where we have all of our overbleed that's cut off, or that's supposed to be cut off just in case, so we can fit it into this little red square. And then once we do that, you're going to want to essentially upload all your images, place your order, pay some money, and then you'll be getting your cards sooner rather than later. I am going to show you some cards that Paru from Pittsburgh got for his custom Toho set, and they came out really nice. Another idea you can do if you want to print out your custom cards is printing out directly from Magic Set Editor. So you're going to want to go to File, Print Preview, Entire Set, put space between the cards so they're not directly on top of each other, and you will get essentially pages upon pages upon pages of a 9x9 grid of your cards. And then all you got to do is print them out somewhere, and then you're going to spend a whole lot of time cutting, but it's going to be definitely a whole lot cheaper than printing them out through Make Playing Cards. So the last option you can do if you want to play your cards, and let's say you don't want to spend the money, you don't want to spend the time cutting out all the cards, what you could do is that if there was allegedly a Weiss Schwarz simulator, you could allegedly program your own cards and allegedly play them against online. So let's say hypothetically we had this Weiss Schwarz simulator that ran off of Unity and was designed by Blake Thones. You would want to most likely go into your Weiss Schwarz data, streaming assets, cards, and here you can see a whole lot of sets that may or may not be in a simulator right now. And then let's say Umineko, because this is a set I'm working on as we speak. To start making sets, first you're going to want to put your entire set into your program folder. So here we have all the funny little cards. You want to put them into their own folder, and you're going to want to have two text files, one that could be named card data and one that could be named single set data. So single set data is going to allegedly allow you to select this card from the supposed deck builder, from this supposed Weiss Schwarz sim that may or may not exist. So you want to give it a series. This is going to be what shows up when you search for cards to put into your deck. This is going to know what folder it's going to be under. This is the prefix, and this is your set name. So if we were to open up this supposed simulator, we would want to go into deck editor, series, and you want to scroll all the way down and find whatever. So like see 100 Girlfriends, that's another custom set. So Umineko set, oh wait, that's the one set for it, and search, it'll go into the Umineko folder and it will pull out all of these cards that I'm currently working on. So then you can click and drag, do whatever, wee woo, and that'll allow you to put cards into the deck. But just because you have the images and have them accessible through the program doesn't mean that they actually work. So I want to close that out, and then we are going to want to go back into streaming assets, cards, And let's go back all the way down to Seagull Shenanigans. This is when card data comes into play. So this is where we're going to want to put your entire set. There is another video I will link into the description that goes more in depth on the language to put your cards into the game file. But essentially what you want to do is you want to have a character ID that's connected to an image ID, which is the exact same as an image on your folder. And then you want a card name, card color, card level, card cost, card power, card soul, trait 1, trait 2, trait 3, and then you want to have your ability type. So you have continuous, auto, and act. So this is a continuous effect that gives itself, if it has a marker, gain 2000 power, gain power, 2000, and effect. It also gains the effect of a continuous global, if not other, cannot gain special, cannot side attack, and in location facing this card, gain special, cannot side attack. And then with embedded in, it gains a text continuous, which is what you see in the sidebar. This has no effect on the actual code. It's more of like a comment. And it says this card and the character facing it cannot side attack. And then text cunt, again, has no effect on the underlying code. It's more of a comment so that people can visualize what the card's supposed to be doing. If there's a marker underneath this card, gains 2k power, and neither this or the card facing it can side attack. So again, this is very bare bones explanation. I will link a full tutorial on how to make these cards in the description. And that is pretty much it for introduction to custom Weiss Schwarz card. If you want any information, I would highly recommend going to the general Weiss Schwarz TCG Discord and join the custom set discussion, where we talk a lot about custom Weiss cards. And as you can see, our boy over here is making a Sanic set. And if you want any more specific information, I would recommend checking out the pin messages, where you'll get a bunch of files, compiled set by Fumi, which hasn't been updated in a while. I'll probably catch up on that and kind of try and take that over. Bushiroad math, which I talked about earlier in the video, where I talked about how certain abilities cost certain power. And then, yeah, this is essentially a good resource. I would highly, if you're interested in more, I'd recommend checking out Paru's Custom Corner on the Pittsburgh Weiss channel, and J3 Puffin's Whims of the Creator. I think Whims of the Creator just did Arc Knights, if I remember correctly, and Paru's Custom Corner hasn't uploaded in a hot minute because he's been really busy, but hopefully we'll get more custom Weiss content, and soon enough, I think Gadget Man is going to upload our stuff from Georgia BCS. So I will see you all later, hopefully not in 15 months this time. Bye.